Hey everybody! So today we're going to talk about the planet Venus. Here's the card for it. And with synthesis, synthesizing the chart, the planet is what energy needs to be expressed, the house is where or what area of life the energy needs to be expressed through, and the sign is how this needs to be expressed. So here we're talking about a what, we're talking about a planet, we're talking about Venus. So Venus is the planetary ruler of both Libra and Taurus. I mentioned this in the Libra and Taurus videos. But Libra is like the more extroverted side of Venus, and Taurus is the more introverted side of Venus, or inward part of Venus. Meaning that if you have Venus in Libra, there might be more of a push towards things like, and this of course would depend on the rest of your chart, this is not universal, but it might push you more towards like being social and towards other people, whereas if you've got Venus and Taurus, there may be more of an inward push towards needing to value yourself, things like that. It is exalted in Pisces. Venus is exalted in Pisces, which makes sense because, you know, there's, and Neptune as the modern ruler of Pisces is all about like universal love, and Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. So it makes sense for Venus to be exalted in Pisces. And then it is in fall. It is in fall in Virgo, which means it is at its lowest kind of potency or form of expression. In Virgo, it perhaps has the hardest time there. Venus has the hardest time expressing itself there, or being expressed there through Virgo energy. And then it is in detriment in Aries. And I think a lot of that has to do with, you know, Aries is very independent. It's very more self-focused. More self-focused in a more impulsive sort of way. Taurus is self-focused too, but it's not in the same manner that Aries is. So being both more self-focused and impulsive, it doesn't lead to the easiest place for a planet like Venus to fall either. Venus has a hard time expressing itself the way it wants to express itself in Aries. So Venus is all about love, obviously, how you love and need to be loved in return, how you give love to other people, how you give love to yourself. It's also about values, what you value. Of course, the sign would then show how you value it. Charm and social graces do fall under Venus's domain. So somebody, say with Venus and Libra, might have social graces in spades, whereas somebody with Venus and Aries or Venus in Virgo may not. They may have a harder time expressing Venus that way. Harmony and balance and diplomacy, they all fall under Venus's territory. Venus wants to express these things as well. So say, I don't know, somebody with Venus in Leo may do so boldly. Somebody with Venus in Scorpio may do so a little bit more secretively. Maybe. Again, just for instance, not universal. Artistry. I may have mentioned that one already. Venus is very creative. It's creative. The artistry, it's usually like what's beautiful to it. Not like creativity in the sense of like Leo needing to be creatively self-expressive. This one's a little different. It's usually more aesthetically based. So Venus will also give you a good idea of aesthetically what you find beautiful, what you find pleasing. You know, where Venus falls in your chart and what sign it falls in will give you an idea of that as well, aspects it makes. So Venus also obviously mentioned social graces. It also deals with attraction. Perhaps what we feel attracted to, what we feel we attract, maybe not to the total extent that like the descendant does, but there is an attraction thing there with Venus. Now Venus is feminine energy. It's very, very feminine. Just like Mars is very, very masculine, Venus is very, very feminine. And like with Mars, like I mentioned, you know, I've seen it said that depending on if you're a male or a female or identify as male or female, Venus will present differently in your chart and mean something different. I don't know if I really agree with that, like with Mars. If you identify as female, again, I think a lot of it has to do with how society responds to your Venus and to how you express it. Because, you know, it might be more socially acceptable depending on, you know, where you live. It might not be socially acceptable for a man to have those sorts of feminine Venusian qualities or to show those, even though we all have them, regardless of how we identify, what sex we are. We all have we all have feminine characteristics, and Venus kind of shows those in your chart. So a lot of it has to do with how society, where you live, the culture you live in, that sort of thing, how they respond to those things. But I haven't really seen too much of a difference in how they actually present in males and females, or however you choose to identify. Mainly it has to do with how society responds to the way that those are presented in a male or female or wherever on the spectrum that you feel you fall. But I don't see much difference in how they actually present. More like what people feel like is acceptable for them to present. Let me see if there's anything. I know I mentioned value. Self-worth is a big one here with Venus. Yeah, self-worth is a major one. Depending on what's going on with Venus in your chart, where it falls, by house and by sign and aspects made, can kind of give you an idea of what your self-worth may look like, just naturally what it might look like, or in somebody else's chart that you're reading. It can give you an idea of what kind of self-worth you're looking at, and the way they express it, you know, or how, you know, by sign, how they express it. So definitely keep that one in mind too when you look at Venus, for sure. Even if Venus doesn't fall in a house that deals with the self, I would still think about it in terms of self-worth too, along with all those other things. think about it in terms of self-worth too. And not every one of these keywords is going to work for everybody. Some of them might totally not fit for Venus. In your own personal chart or whatever chart you're reading, they all might work for you. It just really depends. These are just keywords these are things that Venus wants to express. This is what it wants to express. But for some people, it might want to express certain things more than others, or have a more difficult time expressing certain things more than others, or what have you. So, yeah. I'm going to get going. If you're watching this on Instagram, you can find us on YouTube at Let's Fuck With Astrology by searching that in the search bar. If you're watching it on YouTube, you can find us on Instagram. We are at Let's Fuck With Astrology. I am at Saturn Season Astrology on Instagram. Natalie is at Apaterno Astrology on Instagram. If you do the Reddit thing, you can find us. Oh, my neck just popped. Did you hear that? I hope not. If you do the Reddit thing, you can find us on the subreddit Let's Fuck With Astrology. And if you're interested in the star cards, you can go to letsfuckwithastrology.com/star cards. All right, everybody. I'll see y'all later.